Sunday, and I don't know, though. She just hadn't been herself. And that whole churchy conversation just got her all worked up.
Well, I hate to hear that. I mean, what made her so upset about the churchy conversation?
Well, that's what I don't understand.
Okay.
She won't tell me, and we're best friends, and she usually tells me everything, and she just won't let me in on this one. I don't know what got her so angry.
No, what do you think?
I don't know. I hope I didn't say anything to offend her.
I don't think you. I didn't hear anything that should have offended her. Did she end up going to church or?
No, I'm afraid not. I'm hopeful that she will, because the church is filled with such good people.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there you go. Good people go to church.
That's true.
Well, yes, but it's a
Good.
place that we need to be going so we can learn more about the Lord.
Well, this is how we become good,
That's
by
right.
learning what God's plan is for us.
Well, as I told you earlier, I'm already pretty good. In fact, I'm real good, and I'm going to be better because I'm going to make goodie baskets for everybody in the community.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yes, and it's a good idea, but
I'll show how friendly I am. I think that'll just be perfect. But I don't know if Sister will help me or not.
Oh, I bet she will. I bet she
I don't
will.
know. Especially when we have to deliver one to Pastor Bob. That could be a problem.
And then Pastor Bob's a good fellow.
oh, he's such a wonderful man.
Yeah.
Of course, if we
And so
delivered it to
talented.
Mailman Bob,
yeah.
it'd probably be about the same as delivering it to Pastor Bob and Fisherman Bob and Judge Bob.
And Mayor.
And
Mayor Bob.
Yeah, you can do it all at one time.
That's a good idea. I was thinking
Save
I
us
might
some
have to make about 10 baskets, but one will be good for him.
That's
One
true.
big basket.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have any warm milk, by the way? And actually, I prefer...
I'll tell you, you want milk? I got some coffee here. Let me put it in the microwave here. Wait a minute.
I don't know if coffee will help me go to sleep or not.
This is decaf.
Oh, all right. Well,
There you go.
Coffee is good.
Yeah, coffee's good. That'll kind of warm up your
that's
tummy.
plenty.
Is that enough?
I'll
Is
just
that
take a half
enough? You want me to
cup.
add some?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
there you go. You want cream and sugar with it?
Oh, no, no.
Oh.
No, I just take mine straight.
Oh,
I'm
that's
sweet enough.
Well, my goodness, we have that in common.
Yes.
That's
That's
very
nice.
That's
That your
nice
friends
to
have
know.
things in common.
Yes, they do.
Yes. And you and I have church in common.
We have church in common. That's right.
That's-
Well, that's a great thing, having
Oh,
common.
There you go with that
Yeah.
churchy stuff again. Goodness, you people love to talk about church.
It's just hard to not talk about it, isn't it?
That's right.
We just enjoy it so much. Oh, what happened? Did it burn?
Hot. It's a little hot, but it's
I
good.
must have left it in the microwave too long.
I didn't swish it around a little.
You got to switch it around.
Yeah, to get that temperature even
If you had a
out.
saucer, you could pour it out in the saucer and let it cool that way and drink it from the
Yes,
saucer.
my grandmother used to do that.
Yeah, my granny did that
Do you
too.
know my grandmother did not wear shoes to school? I just thought I'd point that out in case anybody's wondering about that.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
All right.
you know what? I feel better. I think I better head on back. Maybe I'll check on Kat, make sure she's okay.
Yeah, why don't you?
Well-
Sound like you need to talk to her.
I guess. Oh,
Yeah.
goodness, I don't know if I can get up the courage to do it or not, though.
Oh, you can. Of course you can.
Well, Doc, thank you so much.
Well,
Delicious
all right.
coffee. I hope
All
nobody
right.
catches me in my PJs.
I'll be
Yeah.
along a little bit later.
All right,
I'm
now,
gonna
you're going to
say
be all right
talk-
coming
Oh,
home in the dark
yes.
by yourself?
Oh, yes, I'll be
Tell
just
you what.
fine. Thank
All
you.
right, well, be careful. I'll leave the door unlocked for you.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right.
You take care.
Hello.
See ya. Well, it doesn't look like the lights are going to go out. So, oh, there they went. Did you see that?
I think it was a
Did y'all
power
see that?
failure.
Let's see. Did the lights go out? Oh, that usually means it's going to close in the next few minutes when the lights blink like that.
That's right.
Look at that.
That's right.
And here they come back up. And
Yes.
it's like a miracle, isn't it?
I have a question for you, though,
What
Doc.
kind of question have you got?
Well, I just don't know how to witness.
How to witness?
That's right. I know I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
Because when I was a child, I gave my heart to God.
Right.
And I'm trying to follow Jesus and do what he would have me to do. Now, I strayed. I got out of church and I was out for a long... I didn't get back in church until I came to this wonderful town and talked to Bob the mailman.
Bob the mailman.
That's right.
He's a strong believer.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he invited me to church.
Did
and
he?
then certainly, and I went with you, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time I've been in church for years. But I don't know how I can witness to Kit and Kat. Because I think they really need the Lord.
It sounds like they do need the Lord. And I think they kind of think that just being good is the answer to everything.
Well,
but being good's not good enough, is it?
No, I told Kit that being good wasn't good enough. There's lots and lots of good people in this world.
Right.
But there's just one way to heaven.
Well, let me read you something, because it's really important to share the gospel. Let me get over here where I got a little light here.
Sure.
In fact, if you look in Romans, the first chapter in the 16th verse, it says, now, Paul tells us right here, it says, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God to salvation for everyone who believes." And what Paul is telling us, it says, look, I'm not ashamed. I think sometimes we kind of feel a little nervous about talking about Jesus to other people and witnessing. But Paul says it's really important to not be ashamed and not be so nervous about that, because that's the way we get saved. You know, Jesus will save us through the gospel or the good news word. And so when we're sharing our faith with people, that is so important, you know. And in fact, if you think about it, when somebody is fixing to leave, maybe somebody is dying, or somebody is going to go away for a long time, and you may never see them again, how important do you think the last words would be? If you were going to go somewhere, and I bet the kids out here too, if you were not going to see somebody maybe ever again, would the last thing you tell them be really maybe the most important thing you'd want to say?
I think you're right.
But you know what, Jesus, if you look in the end of the book of Matthew, right, you know, Jesus, when he died on the cross and he came back on the third day and he stayed with the disciples, the very last thing that he told the disciples, and it's right, the last few words in the book of Matthew, is to go out all into the world and tell them about me. So his last words were, go out and share the good news of the gospel. So if Jesus thinks it's the most important thing, then as a Jesus follower, I've got to
That's right.
put it in my heart that it's the most important thing for me to do. And you know, I think sharing the gospel, when you're sharing with people, probably the best thing that you can do is to live it. You know, most of the time when I've shared the gospel, it's because they have seen Jesus in my actions. So as a Christ follower, I want to try to treat people as Jesus would treat them. And you know, they're always attracted to that. If they're having problems in their lives and stuff, and they see something in me, Jesus in me, then that gives me a way that I can talk with them, because then they start asking me questions about, well, you know, how did you get through these times? Because, you know, we all have had rough times.
That's true.
And if you think about it, sharing your faith is simply telling people how it used to be. And maybe, you know, as a kid, maybe I had trouble not minding in school, not minding my parents, not doing things they wanted me to do, maybe not doing my homework faithfully, or just had things that were problems. So that's the kind of way my life was. And then something brought me to Jesus. It may have been somebody shared with me about what Jesus had done in their life. And so I want to talk about that, and then talk about what the changes made. You know, since I've accepted Jesus as my Savior, it's changed my life. Now, I still struggle with some things, but you know, certain things in my life that were hard aren't hard anymore. And maybe as a child, if I had trouble paying attention and minding in school, and then I became a Jesus kid, then I don't have that trouble much anymore, because Jesus has given me a new heart.
That's right.
So when you share the gospel, or you share the good news as a believer, what you're telling people how it used to be. You know, I had this kind of trouble or this, and then what brought me to Jesus? Well, I felt a need that my life had to change. And maybe I saw some of my friends who knew Jesus and loved Jesus, and I said, you know, boy, they've got something in their life I want. And so then when they shared with me, you know, I began to see things and say, wow, I want that. I want to become a Jesus kid. I want to accept Jesus as my Savior because I want to be